Hello, I'm Tim Krul. Welcome to Norwich City Central.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Norwich City Central YouTube channel. Hope you're all doing well. And here we go. Match previews are here. Finally, it's been a while, but really excited to be introducing preview content and football as well. Delighted to be joined by Dan from the Saints View. Dan, how are you doing, my friend?
Mate, I'm amazing. Football is back this week. It's been 3.5 months. It's been a long wait, but we
Felt
finally got.
long. Yeah, definitely back now. And yeah, really, are you excited for it, mate?
You know what I am? I think before they announced that the Premier League's coming back, I think I was quite keen on the idea of just cancelling it, considering it null and void. Obviously there'd be complications with promotion, relegation, etc. But for a team like Southampton, sort of comfortably mid-table, we weren't going to do much anyway. I think if you'd ask most Saints fans, would you take 14th? Then that means we don't have relegation. Then yeah, I think every Saints fan would have taken that. But
Yeah.
now it's back. We've obviously got a decent running, to be fair. It's quite mixed, but there's some definitely winnable games in there. So it could be a strong finish.
Yeah, definitely. I was going to say before we touch upon Norwich and Southampton, what is football going to be like without the fans now, and will the intensity of the game still be as high? It's going to be really interesting to see what football's like, kind of, now the virus has hit.
Yeah, it will be. I've absolutely got no clue what to expect. Obviously, watched a bit of the Bundesliga, but how similar will it be to the Bundesliga? How the Premier League sort of structure everything? But you know what? I think I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think we could see a lot of surprises. I think there could be some teams who struggled, who do a lot better, and sort of finish the season well. And then I think we could also see some of the more high-flying teams maybe drop off a little bit. I think it's going to be really interesting. And obviously, it's a historic moment. They'll remember this for hundreds of years. Like it's mental.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Yeah, so let's start the preview. What have you made of Southampton's season so far, mate?
Wow. Okay. Roller coaster, definitely a roller coaster.
You're used to that being Norwich fans, mate.
Yeah, I'm sure we're pretty similar clubs, to be fair. I think the start was disappointing, a little bit underwhelming, sort of around October time. August, obviously, lost 3-0 away at Burnley, put in a really good performance at home to Liverpool, still lost. Went and beat Brighton, got a good point against Man United, and went away to beat at Sheffield United and beat them. So first 5 games, a couple of wins, a disappointing defeat, and a good performance against the champions of Europe. I think Saints fans were kind of happy, but after that, I think after our derby win in the cup against Portsmouth, it just went completely downhill. It wasn't necessarily the fact that we were losing games; it was the manner of defeat. Losing 4-1 at home to Chelsea, going to Spurs, playing against 10 men for 60 minutes and hardly creating a single chance and losing 2-1. And then, of course, I can't not mention it, going and losing 9-0 at home to Leicester.
Yeah.
It was. I don't think many Saints fans expected it. There was a lot of faith in Ralph Hasenhüttl in that summer, and I think some fans were quite keen on Che Adams, the fact that we signed him, thinking he was going to be the saviour. No one sort of thought Danny Ings was going to be the man to score the goals and effectively single-handedly keep us up in the league. But personally, I always had faith in Ralph. I think calls for him being sacked were, it was obviously the easy option. We could have just gone and sacked him, found a new manager, like maybe a David Moyes, someone uninspiring, but would have probably got us to 40 points and in the division. And then, would we renew his contract, go sack him the next year? It'd just be that vicious cycle. And to see the board show faith in Ralph has obviously proved dividends now. And it was all down to the players, I think. We've got a weak mentality in our squads at times. And Ralph is sort of, he's had his work cut out for him. That's definitely fair to say. And after that horrendous run, we sort of somehow managed a magnificent run. Obviously, when we beat you guys 2-1 at St Mary's, that was at the very beginning of that run. That's ignited it almost. We'd beaten Watford and you guys in the space of, I think it was like 5 days at home, when we hadn't even won a single home game before that point. And then, we go on and get incredible wins. Big ones away at Villa, but obviously like a win at Chelsea, beating Spurs at home. Going to Palace and winning. We were just consistently winning football matches, which was something that we haven't seen as Saints fans since the Koeman era. And Ralph really proved that he can get this team playing good football, exciting football, high pressing, attacking football, where we're a nasty side to play against. I didn't even mention the Leicester win. We beat Leicester away as well.
Oh yes,
Beating them 9-0.
another late Danny Ings goal.
Yeah, exactly that, mate. And it's kind of given Saints fans hope that, albeit before the break with coronavirus, our form was a bit shaky. We'd lost 4 out of 5. But it's shown the fans that we can play some excellent stuff. And now that Hasenhüttl's committed for 4 years, other players are following suit. We've got more players, hopefully, this couple weeks coming up. More key players signing new contracts. James Ward-Prowse, probably the latest one to be sort of mentioned in the press. So it's a really exciting time for Southampton, and I think some fans are a bit nervous about this restart because obviously we're not mathematically safe, and traditionally when we're slow starters. Obviously I know we've already had the season, but it's been a 3.5 month break. I think we see it as a new season almost.
It's going to be very hard to see, mate, isn't it? I think from a Norwich perspective as well. If you look at our season, it's been we've kind of wanted to replicate, I guess, the success of Southampton and kind of put that run together, which we haven't been able to do, as you put it together in December. I think from Norwich perspective, as I say, we started the season reasonably well, got an excellent win against Manchester City, and then we had an injury crisis from middle of September to the middle of November, and we only managed to get 1 point in 2 months, which was really disappointing. And if you take away that middle of September, middle of November kind of run, we'd probably be, if you remove that from the season, we'd probably be 17th and outside the relegation zone.
Yeah.
But then from December onwards, there were so many games where we were winning, we were 1-0 up, particularly at Carrow Road, and then failed to get the wins. And yeah, we've kind of been ticking along, but like Southampton, we haven't been able to put that run together to kind of, put us to safety.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that run is the reason why we're going to be a Premier League side. I mean, I don't want to jinx it, but I'm pretty confident we're going to be a Premier League side next season. And now it's a case of, not that we can enjoy ourselves, but I think there's definitely a bit of a relaxation amongst the club at the moment, and also excitement. If we can get to the 40 points as soon as possible, every Saints fan will just be calm because naturally we're quite nervous fans. But
aren't we all?
Yeah, well, exactly, mate. If there's any sort of possibility of relegation, you're going to have a few butterflies in your stomach. But I'm so excited for next season. I don't even want to think about this restart, to be honest, because I want to get it done as soon as possible. Have a good transfer window because that's vital. We have to back Ralph now that he's shown sort of confidence in the board and the club to progress. And the plan is to go and be a Europa League side again. I don't think that's going to be next season, but I think 2-3 seasons time, it's definitely possible if we recruit well.
Yeah, definitely, mate. I was going to bring on to kind of how both teams play now to give the viewers a better idea of how Southampton play. From a Norwich perspective, it's fullbacks getting quite high up the pitch, particularly at Carrow Road, and providing some width. You've got Alex Tettey as a central defensive midfielder who's really good at protecting the back line. And it's all about Norwich City, as I say, playing with width, trying to play attractive attacking football, passing through the thirds and having someone like Pukki who can run in behind, and players like Buendia and Cantwell who can feed those balls. How would you say Southampton play? Because it's similar to us in terms of that desire to play attacking football, attractive football, and also press high as well.
Well, you've sort of hit the nail on the head there, mate. High pressing. That's exactly what Ralph Hasenhüttl tries to do. He implements a 4-2-2 formation, which is sort of like it's a fancy sort of 4-4-2, but it's sort of more emphasis on using central midfielders almost as wingers as well. So
okay.
When we were attacking, sometimes we sort of we transition. I guess that would be the word. We transition between being quite wide, but also relatively narrow. I think a lot of our play this season has been quite sort of through the middle, and I don't know whether that's because our fullbacks have been lackluster at times, or whether it's is how Ralph wants to play. I mean, if you look at his Leipzig side, that obviously did very well in the Bundesliga. It's sort of a mixture for us at the moment. Going forward, I think we've got it spot on at the moment. I think we know what we're trying to do. We have to be a bit more clinical, but I have to say we do create more chances really than that warrants how many we score. But the key area is sort of defence. We need to work on that. Too many times players from the opposition get in behind. Tracking back sometimes isn't great, but the idea really of this football is as soon as we lose the ball, you try and get it back as soon as possible, and that's sort of where we've struggled, to be honest. And it is these little teething problems that once we get them right, we're going to be an excellent side. I'm very confident of that, but at the moment we're not fulfilling our potential just because we haven't got it spot on yet across the whole field.
Yeah. I think now moving on to key players, mate. You can pick out a number of key players from a Norwich perspective. Obviously, Pukki with the 11 goals, Cantwell 6 goals, and then the third player who's scored the most amount of goals is just on one. So, look, from a Norwich City perspective, we are very reliant on Pukki and Cantwell. We need players like Buendia and Duda to kind of step in and chip with the goals, and defensively as well. But we've kind of had this attitude in the Championship where, if a team would concede one, we'd be able to score 2 and 3. And whilst defensively we haven't been great because we like to play this attacking football, we haven't been clinical enough and we haven't been taking our chances. So from a Norwich City perspective, Teemu Pukki is someone who needs to obviously continue and try and get the goals and try and reignite a Pukki party. Who are the key players for yourself? I guess you can look at Danny Ings straight away as a player who
let's start with
fantastic.
The one. Yeah, we'll start with the obvious one, shall we? Yeah, 15 Premier League goals, 18 in all competitions. The guy has just been absolutely ridiculous this season. And the amazing thing about it is I can't think that there'd be any sort of Southampton fan who can say that in August they predicted Ings to go on and have the season that he did, or he has done. It's not even finished yet. He's 4 goals off of Vardy, who's top for the Golden Boot. So it's possible. I'm not going to get over the top, but it is possible. He's everything you want in a centre forwards. Obviously very clinical. You know what? He's not even that clinical. That's the amazing thing. He creates chances for himself, but to be honest, he could be on 25 goals at the moment. He's been that good, and I think the main thing for him is he's kept himself fit. I'd like to see the stats. I haven't looked at the stats recently, but I believe that he's featured in not all, but pretty close to all our Premier League games somehow this season. Some of them obviously coming off the bench because we had to look after him with his injury record. But the fact that he kept himself fit this season has just helped him so much. The fact that he's a boyhood Saints fan as well, it's everything you want. You want your goal scorer to want to score goals for the club. He adores the club. He's scored a brace in the derby as well. He's just a sensational player. Other players, I would say Nathan Redmond is probably another one. Obviously,
Norwich player, yeah.
You know him well. I think he's come on leaps and bounds at Southampton since his time at Norwich. Obviously, 4 years older now than he was when he left Norwich, but. He's definitely one of our key creative players. Sometimes going forward,
I think it's inconsistency.
Yeah,
which has been a bit of a problem with his game.
If you look at his stats, 3 goals, you think that's not great, but it's almost a bit like Buendia. On the ball when it's his day, he'll take anyone on and he'll be a real handful for any fullback. And I look forward to him sort of dribbling against the likes of Grant Handley on Friday. But the other one who I'd probably mention, is Stuart Armstrong, who's massively underrated. Sort of came back into the Southampton side. Actually, when we went on our really good run, I think he came in when we beat Aston Villa. He wasn't getting a look in, but how wrong Ralph Hasenhüttl was not to play him. He is a sensational player. Picked him up from Celtic for £7 million last summer, and he's already warranted that price tag. Again, like Redmond, you'd look at his stats and say, 3 goals. He's not that good. But going forwards, he's probably our best creative outfit. He obviously knows how to play the ball forwards. And that's the difference. When we were struggling, we were sort of being negative, playing the ball backwards almost. He thrives in this system of high pressing, getting the ball forward. Technically he's a very good player, and he's going to be I think personally he'll be the key man on Friday for unlocking the Norwich defence. Yeah,
Friday 6:00 score prediction, mate.
You know what I said? I'm going to stick to what I said to you the other day. I'm going to stick with a 2-1 Saints. But
I think the question is, are Southampton going to be motivated in terms of, Norwich have got everything to play for, and Southampton on the face of it haven't got as much.
yeah, I don't know. I think we are going to be motivated. I think the fact that we've seen Hasenhüttl sign a new contract before this restart has shown the players a signal of intent, and it definitely feels like there's a good atmosphere at the club at the moment, with a sense that they have the opportunity to go and have a really strong finish to the season, albeit realistically the highest they could finish is probably 10th, but I can't see Burnley dropping off. So I think if we were to finish 11th or 12th, that'd be a fantastic finish. But it's about, obviously, we mentioned it in my preview off camera. The new season could start in a month or in 2 months. So we definitely want to go into that season on a high. And if we finish this, it's so odd. If we finish this season on a high, we go into the 2021 campaign, almost as front runners in good form. So I definitely think there's something to play for. I do think it's more important that Norwich win. Of course, you've got to stay up in the league. But I think there's definitely intent for the team to get to 40 points as soon as possible.
Yeah, I think from a Norwich City perspective, we've only had the one away win all season. We've really struggled away from home. And also away from home, we've really struggled to score goals.
We've been exceptional away from home. So it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah. And away from home, as I was saying, as I said, the one away win, and we haven't really scored many goals away from home. We've tried to play this attacking football, but for whatever reason, I think you look at Premier League defences are a lot harder to break down, particularly when you're playing at their ground. But Norwich City at home at Carrow Road, we've been doing okay. There's been a lot of games, particularly in December, where we was 1-0 up and failed to go on to win the game. So we are better at Carrow Road, obviously without the fans. Football could be different, that you might not have that home advantage, but I think, as I said, with Carrow Road, we play the better football, and I think Norwich City are going to be up for it, and I think we might win. I think we're going to say we're going to win 2-1.
I can see it. I'll say it now. I'm in numerous Saints group chats, and there are Saints fans saying we'll lose on Friday, and I think it's that exact reason. Also, our record at Carrow Road is pretty poor. We haven't won there for, I think it's 10 years now. Okay. I think the last win there was when we were in League One together, when you guys, when you went and won it. So that sort of brings you back.
Where did you finish that season?
I think we finished 14th.
Oh, okay. Southampton have come.
That's so that's how long
both come so far.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see. But I think almost with this restart, with having no fans, it might help us even more. So our home form's been so poor. A lot of that's because the fans don't get behind the team enough. So I think potentially it could help us. But yeah, I'm going to stick with a 2-1 win for Saints. But Norwich are going to go 1-0 up.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me that if we go 1-0 up into the second half and then just capitulate as we have all season. Mate, thank you for coming on. Where can people find you?
It's been my pleasure, mate. You can find us at the Saints View on Instagram and Twitter, but mainly YouTube. I'm going to plug the award. We've got. I think this comes out. There'll be a day left. Amazingly, we've been nominated for Best New Content Creator at the Football Content Awards. If you go onto our channel, all the links are in our bios and that, so you can go and find it. I believe when this is out, there's maybe 1 day left if this is coming out on Wednesday. So go and do it. That'd be massively appreciated.
Yeah, go over and check out the channel, mate. Thanks for coming on. If you're new to Norwich City Central, please subscribe and leave your thoughts down below. As football resumes again, Norwich versus Southampton, 6 o'clock at Carrow Road. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.